Tamar had gotten in trouble for something, and he drew on his walls, and
Oh,
and he was 3. So like it's at the age like he was old enough to know better than he know he's not supposed to draw on the walls. Like he knew better. He had never done anything like that before.
yeah.
He knew he wasn't supposed to draw on the walls, but that was his cry for attention. And the way I feel like the way we handled that situation initially, we could have done better.
Yes, I think we definitely handled that. Like looking back on the situation, we definitely handled that terribly.
Hey, it's Tamesia.
And this is Omar, and you are listening or watching Marriage No Chaser.
We're going to share with you the uncut version of marriage from our own experience and what marriage is teaching us every day.
And to start off the episode, like we do every episode, we take a shot. So for this week's episode, we're going to talk about parenting and our parenthood journey.
Just parenting. Did you say parenthood or parenting?
I said parenting. I said
We're going to talk
parenthood
about
journey. Our parenthood.
parenthood in our experience, I guess. Our parenting style. Yeah. You want me to start?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So we have 2 kids. If you don't already know, we have 2 kids. Our oldest is Tamar. He is now 6. I almost said 7. And then we have our daughter Maya, who is 2.
Yeah.
So to start off, we're going to talk about how it was like in the beginning of like when we first became parents. With Tamar, we didn't know much of anything. So Omar wasn't there. I think we mentioned previously that Omar was not there for the birth of Tamar. So my mom and my sister were there with me for the first week of Tamar's life. And I kind of had like first of all, Tamar was an easy baby. So he would wake up at the same time every night. And then maybe it was 2 times where he woke up and wouldn't go back to sleep. And one of those times was actually when you came home, like right after you came home.
Mm-hmm.
There was one night you were trying to like be helpful and stay up, but I have pictures of you like sleeping on the floor.
Sounds about right.
So basically in the beginning it was like just me and Tamar. So
For a week.
it felt like a forever in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning. Like it's all blurred. I was all off schedule. It's just coming out of the hospital and all that. So it was just weird for you to come home and like we have a baby now, but I'm like in mom mode, and like I said, like I always say, like I don't know how to incorporate you. Once I'm in this mode, I forget to incorporate you
Mm-hmm.
and take your help in the whole mix. So we did after my mom and my sister left. It was just us. I don't know about you. I was kind of nervous once they left. I don't know if you remember.
I kind of remember, but I don't. I don't think I remember myself like being nervous. I think it was mostly. I guess you can call it nerves because
It was just weird because it was just us, and they were helping with Tamar, which wasn't much because Tamar was easy, but like they were there, and then it was just us, and we had to figure out how to do it together without anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we disagreed on a lot. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah, definitely. We definitely disagreed on like how to raise him, and I think we disagreed because we were both raised two totally different ways.
Obviously, yeah.
So with that, we're like butting heads on which way is the right direction to raise him.
And he's only a baby. That was my take. Like, he's only a baby and he's gonna need for things. And it was like, you felt like, oh, you're babying him too much. And I'm like, he's a baby. Like,
Yes,
he wasn't like a crybaby though. He didn't cry a whole lot. But you always got on me for like, oh, you hold him too much. Or
because
like,
you did hold him a lot.
but he was also my first baby. And he was so easy. I could put him down and he'd be fine. Doesn't mean I didn't want to hold him. He wasn't spoiled. I didn't think he was spoiled.
I definitely thought he was spoiled.
I know.
Because he is currently to this day.
Well, both of them are, but we'll get there. I mean, they're spoiled, not too spoiled. They're like in the middle. Like, it's not too spoiled, but they're not like
Extra spoiled, like the spoiled kids that you could really see.
They're not spoiled brats, but they're spoiled when they know their place for the most part. But they're not running the house, basically.
They try, but...
No, but that was a big thing where you felt like I was babying him and certain things that I wanted to do with him, you felt... Well, I felt like I knew more because my mom did in-home daycare and I knew a lot more about babies. But you talked about you were around your cousins and there are certain things we disagreed on.
There's a lot of things.
Well, I don't remember everything, but I know for a fact that for a while it was like you wanted to do it your way and I felt like he was too little for you to like pop him or something. When he got a little bit older, you would like tell him no and you would like pop his hand or something. I'm like, he's too little. He doesn't know that yet. And it was that kind of stuff.
You'd be surprised what they know.
No, but it was that kind of stuff we disagreed on for a while. And at that age. But we kind of I think I kind of realized that, you know, at the same time, Tamar's a little boy and you might know better than me what to do with a little boy and how to discipline a little boy.
I can agree with that.
Were you shocked?
No. I mean, like, I wasn't shocked at the fact that you said that. I mean, because, like, we've had a lot of growth when it comes to raising the children. And I feel like with me being a male, you're starting to realize, like, okay, a male knows more about a male than a female knows about a male, and vice versa.
Yeah, and I started to realize, comparing Tamar to other little boys his age, he was a lot tougher. And he wasn't, like, so a lot of little boys be crying all the time and hanging on to their mom. And because of the way you treated Tamar and kind of prevented me from babying him too much. I still babied him. He was a baby. But babying him too much, it made him more independent. And he wasn't really, like, whining like the other kids or a lot of the other kids. So I started to notice the difference. And I realized, okay, maybe he's right. I never admitted it. But
no, of course
I kind of backed off and just kind of let you. I kind of let you do what you wanted to do, but I would still jump in if I felt like I needed to. But I mean, even now, now I feel like we're better. But we'll get to that. Another thing, if you want to.
Yeah. So another thing, when we had Tamar, we were still pretty young. So like we were still going out a lot more than we currently are, or like on the tail end of like when we were in Vegas.
As Tamar got older, if we first got to Vegas, I had just had Tamar. I turned 21, pregnant, so like, of course, I wanted to experience Vegas. So we did go out. Like, we didn't neglect Tamar and leave him with babysitters all the time, but we went out a lot more than we did, of course, with Amaya, which obviously we were older. But that and you went out a lot more than me. So I was at home a lot with Tamar, and that between that and like some of our disagreements about how to raise him, it kind of drove a wedge.
Yeah.
between us, and just the whole adjustment period of like last time we saw each other, we didn't have a kid. We've said that before.
Yeah.
And then boom, we're back together and we have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we had our fun, but I feel like we weren't bad parents because we went out, but we did go out a lot. So, well, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, like, so if you know us, like, you would know, like, well, at least now that
we don't go out.
We don't really do the whole going out thing. And when we had Tamar, like we said, like, we were still young.
It's just a description of us being young parents and the difference between that and then what we went through with Amaya.
Yeah.
As 25-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we did like go out a lot, and you know, we had trustworthy babysitters that really did want to hang out with Tamar.
Well, Tamar basically was sleeping. They were there watching Netflix.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was. So it's not like Tamar missed anything of us. It's just that I wanted to mention the fact that yes, we took care of him, but we also were young still. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, we were going out, we were still young. So it's kind of hard. Like, I would still at least wake up in the morning the next day with him. Because Tamar used to wake up at like 6 o'clock on the dot every morning. When he finally did sleep through the night, he would wake up at 6.
Yeah. See, and I think that's a difference now, because now the roles are switched. You're sleeping more.
Well, you also had to work. Is why I got
true.
up.
Yeah.
I had no choice. You had to work. You were working mids. So
yeah,
you had to sleep. I don't know. Either way, swings or mids, you had to sleep longer to get your rest to go to work later.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
But like we said, it did start us going out, us disagreeing on how to raise him. It kind of drove like a big wedge in between our relationship, and we started like pulling apart from each other.
We weren't communicating.
Oh, definitely. We weren't communicating at all. We weren't communicating on how we felt about things when it came to raising him, or just in general when it came to just us giving each other attention.
Yeah, instead of going out, we should have spent more time together. But we just spent our time. We would go out together too, but it would be like we're out and we're not paying attention to each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, but with Amaya, I was at least 25. No, you turned 25 before her birthday.
Yeah.
So we were both 25 when she was born. And the biggest challenge with that was the fact that now we have 2 kids to split our attention with. And Tamar, in the beginning, took it kind of hard. And we didn't realize that it would hit him like that, I guess. I mean, we knew, oh yeah, he's gonna have a little sister and he's gonna have that all kind of jealousy towards her, but he was so excited to like meet her that we didn't really think about it. And what was it? How old was Amaya? She had been home maybe a month or maybe less, and Tamar had gotten in trouble for something, and he drew on his walls, and and he was 3. So like it's at the age like he was old enough to know better than he's not supposed to draw on the walls. Like he knew better. He had never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
He knew he wasn't supposed to draw on the walls, but that was his cry for attention. And I feel like the way we handled that situation initially, we could have done better.
Yes, I think we definitely handled that. Like, looking back on the situation, we definitely handled that terribly. At least I did.
I wasn't gonna say you, but I mean I was with Amaya, and I just heard you yelling upstairs about the walls. And I think Tiffany was over too, and we all came upstairs, and we were like this boy. First of all, he didn't just draw on one wall; he drew on all 4 walls in his room. He did not miss a spot, even behind the door. He made sure he drew behind the door too.
Yeah.
Like, he was mad. And it wasn't like he was just trying to color something pretty. Like, he just scribbled all over the wall and then moved on to the next wall. Like, it was rage. And I didn't realize it then. But yeah, he definitely was crying for attention.
Yeah. Because we were, like, it was like having a 3-year-old and then having a newborn. It was 2 totally different worlds for him.
And Amaya needed special attention. She was a very needy baby. She was the complete opposite of Tamar.
Oh, my goodness.
So Amaya needed for a lot. And I was very stressed because, first of all, Tamar was perfect. So I was just assuming Amaya was going to be freaking perfect too. But Amaya had, for the first, like, month, I don't think I slept.
I think you slept, but not
a lot. It was like broken up sleep. Because she would just wake up screaming and she wouldn't stop.
And I couldn't, for like maybe the first 6 to 8 months, I could not touch her alone. I couldn't feed her or anything.
She was not fond of you.
Or males in general.
Yeah, it was literally, I don't know if it had to do with breastfeeding. 'Cause I didn't breastfeed Tamar because I had a lot of issues during that pregnancy. And when they had asked me, oh, do you want to breastfeed or are you formula feeding? I told them straight up, I was like, I'm formula feeding. I literally just can't. I need my body back to myself. Like, the stress that I went through this pregnancy and I was by myself. Like, I just need my body back to myself. Call it selfish, but like, that's what I want to do. I want to formula feed. He'll have food either way. And like, every doctor was like, are you sure? Are you so I see you're formula feeding. Are you sure? Have you tried? Is he latching? He latched on fine. We tried it. And I was just like, I can't do this. I need my body to myself. So with Amaya, I was like, I don't want to. So the pregnancy was pretty easy. You were there to help. I didn't really have that many issues. So I wanted to breastfeed her because I wanted to breastfeed Tamar. I just needed to be separated from him. Like, I didn't need him just to depend on me. With Amaya, it's my first time breastfeeding. And of course, she was needy and she only wanted me. Even when she wasn't eating, she like...
Literally, to change her, to be around her, to put her to bed.
He couldn't touch her. He couldn't feed her, of course. He couldn't look at her.
Literally, I couldn't do anything.
I could not leave the house. Even when I was pumping, like, she would not take a bottle.
At all.
So it was like a whole new parenting experience with her. She was a handful for the first at least 6 months because she was very stubborn. Like, Tamar was stubborn, but Amaya is a whole another level of stubborn.
Yeah.
Like, she...
So, like...
I had one friend that could hold her and calm her down. Of course, she would only go to me, and then she would, like, settle for her if she had to. Because I just needed to get away. She's like, you know what, I'm going to take her. You go, take a break. Because I'd be, like, looking crazy. I'd be looking like I'm losing my freaking mind. Because she didn't cry. Like, she didn't have that. She never had that cute newborn cry.
No, she was screaming at the top of her lungs.
She would scream. And it wasn't like colic. Like, they say, like, I don't know what colic sounds like. Babies that, like, cry a lot or something. Like, it wasn't like that. She would just be mad, and she'd make sure you know she's mad. Like, she had attitude from day one.
Yeah, she wouldn't let anyone except Tiffany and you do anything for her. So me as a father, I'm like yo, like that's supposed to be my baby girl. Like, that's my daughter. And I think it's kind of karma for me because I was telling everybody that I'm not going to be that pushover dad.
Like, she gonna have you wrapped around her finger type
yeah,
of
and I literally was telling everybody, nah, that's not me. And then boom, she came.
And she didn't want nothing to do with you.
She didn't want to do anything when it came to dad. So I low-key felt crushed, like, dang, like, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here.
You were being petty, low-key. Like, she's a baby. You were like, you take her. I don't want her no more. Like, you didn't even try to hold her. Like,
no, because there was literally no point. There was no point in me trying.
You used to be so mad, though. She used to have you tight.
There was no point in me feeding her because guess what? I would try. She wouldn't take it.
Well, she wouldn't even take the... Well, She wouldn't take the bottle, period, from anyone. For like, I'd take an extra 2 weeks off of work, just to focus on giving her the bottle.
Yes, but then boom, Tiffany comes and she takes the bottle from Tiffany.
Rarely.
She never took it from me.
So way later.
Yeah, it's a way later. So I'm like, yo, like, okay, now I'm tired. Like, I'm just gonna go.
It's just like womanly instinct. She
pour my energy
because
into
Tiffany
my
was a
son.
mom. She could just feel it.
But
so you and Tamar had a bond because both of y'all was like,
forget her
in here ruining the vibe.
Hey, she wanted her mini me. She got her. You can keep her.
That it was not a mini me. That was a mini something else.
You can go ahead and
one day she gonna watch this and be like, "Dang, y'all talking all that mess."
But so there was those problems when it came to me and her. Like we instantly had beef. Like I wanted all the smoke with her.
Beef.
Oh yeah, I wanted all the smoke. I want all the. You know what? Fuck it. You don't want to eat from me. Fuck it.
Just put her in a swing.
Let
her cry. At some point, we did have to leave her to cry because she would
knew.
not.
I'm telling you, she knew. Like, I know I'm about to get picked up. My mom coming. Forget you,
if
Dad.
I was not home, like I went to go just get my nails done and get a pedicure. Like I needed to get out the house, and not even 5 minutes after I was there, he's calling me. So how long you think gonna be? And she's in the background screaming. I'm like, did you try this? Did you try that?
Bro,
I'm about to just put her in the room. I'm about to just put her in the room. I'm like, don't just stick her in the room. Try everything before you just give up. So then when I would come home, she'd either be still crying in the swing or she'd be knocked out, like exhausted from screaming in the swing.
Yeah, because she was that stubborn. Like,
it was
she
bad.
would not eat.
It was
like,
bad.
When she first went to daycare, she starved herself.
Oh, I know.
She didn't want to take a bottle
First
from
of all,
anybody.
she wouldn't take the bottle, and then when she finally did, she would only take it from me. So I had to go back to work. So I told them, I was like, hey, call me if you need to, but she is stubborn. She won't take the bottle. And so they had a little app and they would tell me how much she's eating. There was the first week, she only drank like 2 ounces throughout the day. And that was like in spurts of them trying to get her to eat. And then she would just cry herself to sleep, they said.
Yep.
So it's just like,
stubborn.
And then she would come home and eat. Like I would be feeding her for the longest because she was hungry. Like come home and be like, ooh, boob. and be
chowing down.
Yeah, and then fall asleep before bedtime and then try to be up all night. Like it was just that girl. And I was pumped. I only breastfed her for 6 months because when I started going back to work, pumping at work, I was pumping at work, but the milk slowed down. Like versus feeding her all day every day for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
To like just pumping, it wasn't doing enough, and I wasn't getting enough milk. And I needed her to kind of detach because she was over the top.
Yeah.
So, and she got teeth and she started biting me, like literally chomping down. She would chomp down and literally smile with it in her teeth like this, just, and be thinking it's funny. Yeah. So, and she would like pull back too. Like, I was like, no, you're done. Like, you got 4 teeth. Because both of our kids got teeth pretty early. She had 4 teeth and she was like 6 months. And I was like, heck no. No, I'm done. So I started supplementing. My milk started slowing down, so I started supplementing with formula and breast milk. And then slowly we just did formula, and she was cool. I looked up I forgot what kind of formula it was. But it was like the gentle, like the closest to breast milk type of formula that the daycare actually provided. So
I have one question. Would you breastfeed again?
So, yes and no. I don't know, because I had only breastfed one of the 2, and I don't know if she was so attached because she was breastfed. But then again, it saved us so much money. For me, me breastfeeding saved us so much money because soon after I stopped, like she started eating food slowly, so it's not like we spent a whole bunch of money on formula.
Yeah.
So I think I would do it again just to save the money.
Not because you want the attachment?
Not because of the attachment. Like, no. I would hope that that wouldn't be the case. I mean, with the experience now, first of all, I don't plan on having any other kids. Just so we're clear. But if I so happen to have another child some strange way, accidental way, then I would breastfeed. Yeah.
Okay.
But just because the bond wasn't bad. I say it was bad. Like, it was nice that she depended on me, but then it just got to the point where I needed to get away and I couldn't. It was like good and bad.
It was overwhelming
I was
at
really
times.
stressed out with her. But the older she gets, the easier she actually gets. And I thought it would be like worse as time went on.
Yeah.
I feel like tomorrow was easier and now he's harder.
I mean, it's kind of, and I think that's like how we're treating them now. Like, so when it comes to tomorrow, I tried to take the approach of the fear with him. Be that dad that where he fears me.
Well, yeah. Well, before he got his little pops, like, I guess as they grow older, the way we treat them is different altogether.
Yeah.
So, we never babied either one of them. I had no problem not babying Amaya.
I
needed
I
my
had no
time
problem
away from
either.
her when I could get it.
I had no problem either because I wanted to smoke.
Yeah. So Amaya was not babied. Well, I think she's born baby now than she was when she was like younger. But she's just so precious and she's so funny. But anyway,
I think when it came to Tamar, because he is a male, I early on, especially like 3 to like maybe 4, 5, I was very hard on him.
you're still hard on him.
I
get what you're trying to do, but you are. I have to try to remind you, like, he's only 6.
And I try to remind myself that, and I try to break my habit of that because I'm like, okay, he knows right from wrong because he is a very smart kid. He knows right from wrong, but I need him to be reminded of, or I need him to remember that he can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again.
But for him, he's 6 and he's not thinking about all that. He's just playing and doing what he does, gets caught up in the moment, and then once he gets in trouble, he realizes he messed up, but it's too late.
Yeah.
So for you to come at him hard as you do sometimes, it's like you have to take a step back and realize his age. He is very smart, but you have to realize that he's still young and his attention span is like non-existent.
Yeah.
So, we're learning as we go. As they get older, how we treat them changes, but
I think as they get older, we treat them a lot better. Or we treat them...
We give them more freedom.
Yeah.
To an extent. Like, first of all, we never ever babied them too much where, like, they're coddled. Like if Tamar would fall and, like, we knew he was okay, but we didn't go running to him right away. We let him get up. Because usually kids that age are like toddlers, they fall and they look for your reaction before they react. Mm-hmm. So we never like rushed to him. We were just kind of like, okay, we'll see what he does. If he's really hurt, he'll cry. If he's not, he'll just get up and keep going.
9 times out of 10, he just got up and kept
Tamar
going.
used to just get up. Tamar used to fall hard. We'd be like, ooh, that look like he gonna cry on this one. And then he'd be good. Amaya is the same way. She's pretty tough. Just because she has a big brother that they literally wrestle all over the place. So she's like a little boy too.
Literally.
So both of them, like, we don't really have to baby them. And Amaya is pretty independent because she's trying to keep up with her brother. Mm-hmm. Tamar was independent because we allowed him to be independent. We let him go do things, but we made sure we monitored it from a distance.
And I think that's where we're good at being parents, because we let them be independent. We let them roam and learn things on their own, and then if they do something wrong or not even if they do something wrong or if they get hurt by it or just anything like negative when it comes to being independent, we kind of are there to be like, hey, this is the reason this happened. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
We show them like, okay, this happened, but why do you think this happened? But in kid version.
Yeah.
Like, you did this. This is why this happened. So next time you need to do this. Of course, they're not always going to remember, but every time they do it, we repeat it. Like, hey, remember you did this time and this time. Remember, this is what happens when you do this. You got to stop doing it. And it's only when things are like super serious do like we really get on them. But usually it's just like we let them learn themselves. We let them learn and we explain. Another thing with our kids is that we're military, and you socialize a lot. So we constantly had people, like the same people, not everyone, but we had friends over at the house a lot, at least in Vegas. Mm-hmm. So at a very young age, they were around people a lot. And sometimes new people would come over. We had a barbecue, invite some new people over once. But they were used to seeing different people. And as long as we were okay with them, they were okay to be around them. So, like, as a baby, Tamar was used to a bunch of people holding him. Mm-hmm. Like, so he wasn't, like, whiny if it wasn't me or you holding him. Or if he did get, well, with Amaya, she was a little whiny. She was a little skeptical of people. Tamar was just like, oh, you're giving me to them? All right. Hey, I'm Tamar, smiling and all that.
And he still can't.
Yeah, he's still like that. But Amaya was skeptical. She wouldn't cry, but she would look at me like, who was this fool holding me?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, okay. And she would not smile. People would be trying to get her to smile. She would not smile. She was not friendly. But after a while, I think she watched Tamar, and she just got older. And they both like to be the center of attention. So they're like entertainment for people. They like to entertain people too. Like you, not like me. So they're very outgoing. They're very extroverted, which at a very young age, which is nothing like how I grew up. I was very introverted at a young age. We didn't have people over all the time where I saw a lot of people outside of my immediate family. Mm-hmm. So it was like I was closed off because I wasn't used to being around people. But they're around people so much, they know how to act around people just because that's how they grew up.
Yeah, and like the way I grew up was I wasn't always constantly around like random people or like my parents' friends. It was mostly like being around my family, and we have a huge family, so it was always time for us to always do something. Like, hey, when we went to church, it was like being the children's choir.
Well, I had to do that too.
You got to do this. You got to do torture. That. So another thing is the way we discipline our children. So like at first,
mentioned a little bit.
Yeah, I was like a big advocate for like spankings, just because that's how I was taught. Or I wouldn't say I was taught. That's how you were raised. I was raised.
Right.
And, when you ask an adult a question, like, why, like there's no talking back. Like, there's no back and forth when it comes to that. Either you're wrong, shut up, you're wrong, period. There's no adult explaining why they are spanking you or they're doing X, Y, or Z. So, for me, that's like how it was for a while. It was,
that's you did this. I didn't agree.
You did this. This is your punishment, whether it's good or bad. And I kind of still teach Tamar this and Amaya this. Like, you did X, so this is your punishment for X.
Right.
And as we're getting older, we're starting to realize
as
that...
As they're getting older or as we're getting older?
Both, honestly. I think we're starting to come to the realization that spanking doesn't really work for Tamar. especially at this age.
That's another thing. Having two different kids with two different personalities, you can't do the same thing with both of them. And Amaya's still at that age where you can give her pop in timeout, or like send her to her room to separate her because she's freaking out, like throwing a fit. But Tamar's at the age now where like he's acting up, and there's a specific reason why. He just can't explain what it is.
He can explain it, but he can't explain it that clear.
Right. So I'm saying he doesn't really understand why he's upset. But he does certain things.
Sorry, I had to pour up something.
He does certain things. He does certain things, and he doesn't understand why he's upset. And he's kind of not spiteful. There's certain things Tamar does, and he has a deliberate reason for doing it, but he doesn't know how to explain it. So it's like when you whoop Tamar, his reaction to the whooping is not like, oh, I did this wrong, I'm not going to do it again. It's like, oh, I'm mad, I'm about to do it again because you pissed me off.
That and
for me, when I whoop him, which is very rarely because I don't like to whoop them because I be feeling bad. But with Tamar recently, I've had to, with you being gone, like he does not take me seriously. So sometimes I've had to whoop him, but then I realized we had the conversation about it. I was like, whooping Tamar is not it. It doesn't work. It just makes him behave worse for me. I mean, even for you now, it's not working. So it's like,
to an extent,
we decided we weren't going to really whoop him, but then he's been acting out to where it's like the talking to him and explaining to him over and over again is like he don't care. So it's like maybe if you whoop him a couple times, he'll get it together, which it originally worked like last year when he was acting out at school a lot. We were talking because we know we had just moved, and we're like, he's just making an adjustment. He's acting out because he's adjusting. But after a while, it's like, okay, he's just acting out because he can, and ain't nobody doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
So you gave him that one good whooping, and he started acting fine. But now, it don't faze him. Like, he just gets mad at us.
I think it does faze him because it's like a little bit of both. He gets upset and angry with us, but then he also is very critical of himself.
He's very emotional.
So if he were to mess up and I whoop him or something,
it just makes him feel worse about himself.
He goes into a mode where he's like, I'm the worst son, I'm the worst this and that, and I'm like, you're not the worst
care at that point. Well, I'm already bad, so I'm gonna be bad.
Yeah, so like I think it's both. I think you need the happy medium of spanking and conversation.
But we were doing both.
I don't think I was doing as much conversation earlier when I was whooping him. I wasn't. I would tear his ass up and then walk off, not caring. I think now I whoop him and I try to have a conversation with him.
He just don't be listening.
Or he's so angry that he doesn't want to talk. So, but there's times where
you burped in the mic, drinks in the mic.
Hey, that's twice. I'm fucking up tonight.
At least turn away. Anyway, he was whooping him, didn't work.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, like, damn, like whooping him and the combos together used to work, but they're not working as effectively now.
He's getting older, and he's going through something right now where he's really critical of himself. And we talked about putting him in some type of therapy. I'm still considering that because I don't know what it is. We thought it was the move, but we've been here a year now, and
I think it's also still part of the move, but then it's also with COVID.
True.
And that's like changing a lot of things.
He doesn't get to hang out with a lot of, like, he wants to hang out with his friends a lot. That and him and his one friend that he really hangs out with been getting in trouble at school. So they can't hang out. Plus, now COVID, we kind of have to be careful of him going places and people coming over as much. So, I don't know. It could be that. I'm just concerned with him and how hard he is on himself. He's always been very emotional. But now it's like he's got more anger and it's towards himself too.
Yeah.
Like, Tamar's always been a little hothead every once in a while. Like, he's always been like that. He gets that from you.
That's also you too, but we're not going to get into that.
Anyone that knows me knows I'm not a hothead.
That's a lie.
So they don't.
Anyone that truly knows you,
you're the only one that gets the hothead side because you be pushing buttons.
No.
Anyway,
I don't.
This is about parenting. So with Amaya, like we said, right now, just she sees Tamar getting in trouble, so she don't want none of that.
Yeah, but she's also picking up his bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like
got an
attitude, or she'll try to do like him, like put his head down and shit like that.
He puts his head down and pouts when he's in trouble, and now she does it. She don't know how to lie yet, but she knows that he be lying. She knows he gets in trouble for lying.
Mm-hmm. So it's just like a lot. So like we're still very young. We're still trying to find like our best parenting strategy, because what we do for our kids may not work on your kids, may not work on your future kids, may not work, period. Because every kid's going to be different.
That's the crazy part of parenting. There's no handbook, and then kids are different all around. Like, there's no specific way to raise kids when they're all different.
Yeah.
I mean, what we've done is just try different ways to deal with Tamar. He's been the difficult one lately. Amaya's still easy.
Somewhat.
I mean, she's in that terrible twos kind of too. So, I mean, like, it's bound to happen. Like, it's easier. Like, Tamar's more complex now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're growing as parents. Tamar's the oldest, so we're growing with him. And it's just going to be a learning curve. I don't think we're doing terrible. I think we're paying attention to him, which is good. And we're trying to adjust to him. I know we're trying. So recently we decided we're not going to whip him. You're going to like do like workouts. Like when he gets in trouble, you talk to him and he's got to do some a wall sit or something.
Yeah, different forms of discipline other than whipping him. Like, I don't know. Like, if y'all have suggestions, please comment. Let us know.
We are
ASAP.
open to all the ideas.
But right now, I think just getting him worked out, or just, in the military term, smoke session.
I just feel like, though, he's not too bad outside of the home, like with other people. That's one thing. Our kids are good. It's like, Tamar just gets caught up talking, or if another kid does something or hits him, he's gonna hit him back. Yeah. Like, that's one thing.
That's one thing that I will not budge on when it comes to parenting. I will not budge on that shit.
What do you mean by you won't budge on it?
If somebody hit him, he gonna hit them back. I don't care what look. Somebody lay their hands on my child. My child has every right to put his hands on them. True. I don't care. Nope. I don't want to hear a but after that. You're about to say but.
Yeah, but.
Nope.
Listen to me.
I'm not budging.
Because he says that he agrees with me. He told this to my mom. He said, I know my dad wants me just to hit them, but I think I want to do what my mom said, which is first try, like, if it's like a kid that just hit him, because kids just be doing that because they're weird, just leave. Just walk away, because sometimes kids just be acting stupid, right? Yeah. But if this kid's antagonizing you and he hits you and he's like you need to protect yourself type thing, you hit him back.
Hell no.
That's what I told him.
Hell no.
No, because Tamar being exaggerating, but this is the story he told. He said one of his, I think it's his friend. Kids at this age are weird. Like, cause at one point, this kid he talked about as a friend, and he was like, but now he's like, oh, he hit me on the playground, and he hit me a couple times or something, and then I punched him in his face, and he got in trouble because the aide only saw him. They didn't catch me.
He literally told that story like this week.
Yeah, he was like, and they didn't catch me. I punched him right in his face. Huh, Dad, I punched him in his face. And I'm like, oh,
It's not. It's okay. So the reason I'm saying that is because I don't want him to ever be in a situation to where he's like feeling like he's a punk. So no, let me explain. Because I feel like your strategy, yes, it's a good strategy, but I feel like when he walks away, I feel like the antagonizing is going to keep coming. The bullying is going to keep coming. The harassment is going to keep coming.
If it keeps happening, you hit him, not just the first hit. Because some kids,
yes,
like,
but
there was
I'm
an
saying
incident with a kid last year that had hit him, and he did say he had left. Like kids, I don't know, kids at that age are just they be playing, like, you know how they be play fighting. So I mean, like, he's not gonna beat a kid's.
I'm not telling him to beat him up.
But Tamar hears what you're saying, and that's how he interpreted it.
I'm like, yo, like,
he punched the kid in the face. The kid just hit him. He could have hit him back. He did hit him back, but in the face, according to Tamar. We don't know.
Yeah, knock his motherfucking lights out. I'm playing. Okay, know. I'm playing. But in my defense, I'm like, not even in my defense, I'm like, yo, don't let no one bully you. Don't let no one punk you.
Right.
There's no need to walk away. Stand up to every single bully that think they can just pick on Tamar.
But Tamar knows. Tamar is smart, like you said. He knows the difference between. He knows the difference. Like that's why I have to say it, because if he hears what you say, he's gonna ignore all his instincts and just do what you say because you're dad, and he wants to make sure he does what you say because he respects you in that way. So I make sure to let him know it's okay not to do it in certain situations. And Tamar knows what situation is what, because we talked about it with his teacher in Vegas, where there was a kid that was older. He was repeating kindergarten.
Yeah, but he didn't even try Tamar. The teacher said that first.
Because Tamar, he knows Tamar. I think he did try Tamar, and Tamar had let him know, basically, like, Tamar pushed back, and he realized he can't mess with Tamar. I swear that's what she said.
I don't remember the full story.
Said, I remember.
All I remember, because
and then she said now he don't mess with Tamar
because your memory be biased based on your answers.
Because then she went into the conversation about how she's not gonna punish a kid that's defending themselves. So why would she say that if Tamar hadn't defended himself?
I'm not gonna agree to. We're just gonna agree to disagree on this. I'm not giving.
From what I think I remember, she had said there was one time where he had tried Tamar, and Tamar.
No, you're not gonna just keep reiterating your story and your side.
I'm just saying that's what I was saying. That's what I've remembered. But you're saying that what?
No, it does not matter. We're gonna go to the next topic.
There ain't no another topic that we're talking about parenting all together and talking about Tamar and bullying and.
All I'm saying, okay. All I said was. His teacher said the kid never even tried Tamar because he knew better.
Because of what, though? What made him know better?
You can just look at somebody.
He hadn't tried him once?
Nah, you can just look at somebody and tell.
Ain't gonna look at somebody. Okay,
bruh,
you know what?
There's always like this instinct. But if you want to be right so bad, Tamar, you know what? You're right.
Tamar ain't gonna be bullied.
You're right.
You don't gotta worry about Tamar being bullied. Regardless.
You're right. Let's go to the next one.
I'm just saying. Do you not agree that we don't have to worry about Tamar being bullied?
That won't be a problem.
Anyway, so having kids obviously kind of takes up most of our time. So, I mean, after with Tamar, we'd mentioned that, like, having him divided us.
It definitely divided us. So,
now having two kids is definitely a chore. Like, basically one of us takes one kid, one of us takes the other kid. It's pretty much, like, we have to take initiative to make time for each other. Mm-hmm. Which with COVID and everything, we haven't really been doing it as much. But we made it a point, I know the beginning of the year and like last year, we would we put the kids to bed and we had like our show we would watch or like set time aside or we would talk about like our day or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that kind of helped us kind of keep a bond. We also scheduled date nights. We try to do it once a month. Because having kids, you just kind of forget. You're so focused on parenting, you forget about being a husband and a wife. Me, more than you, I forget that I have to give you attention, too, because...
I'm your fucking husband.
You salty? I'm over here admitting that I'm at fault. And you over here just rubbing it in.
Don't.
Anyway,
don't start.
I'm guilty of focusing solely on the kids and being in that mode, even when you are here, when you're not here, and forgetting that, hey, I need to pay attention to him. We need to bond. We need to have time for each other. And I feel like when we were having regular date nights, like we haven't since the COVID stuff, because we can't even eat in restaurants anymore. Well, yeah, we can't eat in restaurants. We can't dine in. We could take out. So when we were going on those date nights, we would come back like refreshed, I feel like, for me.
No, I would just be happy the fact that we got to spend time together.
But I mean like refreshed as in we've connected.
I'll say yes and no. I mean, for me, like I just said, like I was just happy that we got to spend time together. I didn't feel refreshed.
You didn't feel connected?
I mean, I was just happy we spent time together.
So apparently date nights aren't working?
No, that's not what I said. I said I was just happy of the fact that we spent time together. I was just happy.
Well, I just felt more connected. And I think that's what I needed. And you needed just time. Quality time.
No, I don't try to get into love languages, fool.
No,
I just wanted to spend time with my wife. That's it.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting vibes. I don't know.
I'm just saying, like you're trying to force me to say something, and I'm like, no, that's not.
I'm trying to see if we were on the same page. So I'm looking at you.
Just
like,
because
because
we're not on the same. I told you three times.
Okay.
Of the same answer, and you keep asking me the same question.
All right.
I said, yeah, I feel like we were just having time together. I was happy for the time that we were having together.
And me too. And I'm just
You're saying, but did you feel connected? Did you feel connected?
I felt connected.
Do you feel connected now?
Since we're doing the podcast? Happy but not connected. What?
I'm just saying, like, you kept asking me the same question over and over. And I'm like, yo, like, I was just happy we were spending time together. Okay, so we
both were happy with it. Date nights helped, right?
Sure. If you want my answer, do you want me to give your answer, or do you want me to give my answer? Did they help or not? It helped, but it didn't help.
Why? Okay.
This is not the episode about date nights and shit like that.
Well, it's just a part of like our solution as parents to try to make time for each other.
Did it help? Yeah, sometimes. Did it also not help? No. It didn't help all the time.
Okay. So apparently we're still working on that.
Right. Shit, well, I guess we're trying as much as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know what you want from me. I think you want me to give a cliche or your answer you're expecting me to give.
I'm not asking you for a specific answer.
It has to be.
I was trying to figure out if we were on the same page.
By asking this, no. When you ask somebody the same question, you're trying to get a different answer. Because you were
happy. So you're happy, but you didn't feel connected. I'm asking if you felt connected. And you never answered it.
And I just said, okay, so if I don't answer the first time, you ask me again, and I don't answer the second time.
Why don't you answer? Is it yes or no?
Do I feel connected? I guess we felt connected, but I was just happy that we were spending time together.
Okay.
Like, you felt connected after one date night? No, I'm pretty sure you did not feel connected.
No, consistent date nights. Not just one.
I was just happy that we were spending time together. That's all I cared about.
Okay. And I was looking to be connected. So I got that from regular date nights.
Yeah.
Okay.
So out of all of this that we talked about, what is your affirmation for this?
Connected to the episode?
Either connected or just
so we're concluding the episode.
Do you want to conclude or do you want to keep going?
I mean that's all I had to say. We pretty much said what we needed to say, so we can move on to affirmations. You're supposed to go first this time,
though. I don't know about that one, but sure.
I did not. Okay.
I think I went last time, but shoot.
Well, what episode is this?
Episode 4.
So I went first the first time. So it'll be me, you.
You're odd numbers. I'm even.
Okay, so
it's me first.
Okay.
So, my positive affirmation would be helping me. There's two. So, what I mean by helping me, it's you're starting to take the time to come ask me, hey, like today, I was in the kitchen, I was prepping, cooking, and stuff like that. You came out of the bed. Hey, do you mind? Or do you want me to help you? Nigga, you barely do that shit. So like when you did that, I was taken back a little bit. Like, this is weird.
Can we clarify this real quick? Omar is the chef of the house. Those of you that really know us know that Omar is the cook. I despise cooking. I hate my cooking. He says it's good. I hate it.
It's good.
So when he decides to cook, I usually just let him cook. But he has expressed to me multiple times that he would like us to cook together. So
anyway, affirmations. I was saying you've been very helpful. Like when it was your turn to cook, like you're trying to include me in, hey, we can spend some time together. Do you want to help me cook? It's like helping, and then it's also like some quality time that me and you can have together, away from the kids, because we try to keep them out the kitchen as much as we can.
It's just time to do something that doesn't involve them all the time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that was my affirmation. I'm not gonna give you guys the second one. I'll just wait for that one.
Okay. Well, mine is basically thank you for pushing me to do this podcast. You didn't necessarily like beg and like plead to do, but you've talked about it a couple times where you want to do something like this. And you didn't know, but I was thinking about it a lot for a while. And when I did bring it up to you...
Poor communication.
No, because I didn't want you to know that I was thinking about it, because I didn't want you to force me to do it.
I wouldn't have forced you. I was ready when I was ready.
Myself. I was ready when I was ready, basically. And I'm glad that you did bring it up when you did bring it up, because I needed to do something different out of my comfort zone. And, I mean, we're recording this today, and y'all are probably going to be hearing this.
Don't try to calculate it.
I don't know. Y'all probably hearing this in like December or something, but today is the day we announced we're doing podcasts on Facebook and everything. And so it's like real now. We weren't just recording stuff to not post it for real. Like, we really got to post it now.
I mean, technically we ain't got to post shit, but...
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like...
holding ourselves accountable.
I think it's something that I needed to do to hold myself accountable to something. And do something that's out of my comfort zone. So, I mean, you didn't really push it on me, but I feel like being with you and who you are makes me want to be more like that. Not completely, but
okay,
we kind of balance each other out. What?
So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so thank you for being you.
So, let's see if we can get this right this week. You can follow us on all podcast streaming networks, platforms, networks, whatever.
Which would be Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast,
Stitcher, Anchor, any podcast streaming platform.
At Marriage No Chaser.
Yes, at Marriage No Chaser. Come on.
You still don't get this shit right. And then you can like and follow us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram.
At Marriage No Chaser as well. And if you do go on the Facebook, we have a community.
We're hoping to build up the community where you guys can have open discussions about the episodes or what you want us to talk about. We're open to all ideas. You can even email us or DM us if you don't want to do it in an open platform. So we're hoping to just start conversations on our Facebook and even Instagram.
Yeah, just trying to build a powerful marriage community that inspires people to continue to get married.
Not just get married, just support system, because marriage is hard.
Yeah, support system. I like that.
Yeah, and even single people, if you're single and listening to this, I mean, it's good advice for when you do decide to get married.
If
or
you
even
want
if you're in
to.
a serious relationship, same tips apply, especially if you have kids.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, guys.
We'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.